Happy Monday. Happy Cyber Monday. I have Andrew here with me today, and we wanted to talk to you about your website. The thing is about websites is that there is so much to it than you probably even realize, right? A lot of times we look at a website and we're like, oh my goodness, it looks so pretty, or it looks so good, or oh my goodness, we want to be proud of the website, right? But there's so many things that come with putting a high performing, converting website together. And of course, that's why Andrew and I are like such a great team when it comes to building out your website, because there's a lot of the back end and there's a lot of the tech side that you don't have to worry about, which is why Andrew and his team is here with us. And then, of course, there's the psychology and there's the performance on the front end, right, of actually understanding the visitor's journey as they're coming to your website. So when Andrew and I were looking at, some of our clients, talking and thinking about like, what is something that would really, really help people with their websites right now, we came up with our Cyber Monday offer, which is putting together a website audit for you. And it's kind of like a website performance test if you think about it, right? It's really looking at what's working in your website, what's not working in your website, what's costing you in your website because it's not actually performing to its, peak capabilities. That really could be costing you both revenue and clients, because maybe it looks really pretty, but unfortunately, a really pretty website doesn't necessarily equate to conversions being found on Google and actually working for you. Like, you can even think about like somebody, another employee in your business generating, working for you while you're offline, while you're sleeping, while you're out having friends, celebrating Thanksgiving and the holidays. And so that's why, we've joined forces with both of our expertise and with Peak, and also put together this offer for you, because here's the thing, you don't know what you don't know. And I am shocked and surprised every single time we run one of these audits to see the results of things that you would have no idea about with your website, because it's all the back end stuff that really, well, it's not all the fun stuff, right, when you're building a website. But that's why Andrew and, of course, our tech team and behind the scenes, they run these reports, they support in implementing them and really helping you have a website that's working for you, attracting your ideal clients and being able to help you generate and more revenue in your business. So, Andrew, I'd love for us to share a little bit like, what is a website audit? Why, again, should you consider looking at getting a website audit to really help you really maximize the use of your website when you are putting a website together? Because you've already spent a lot of time and money and energy into building a website. You might as well make it work for you, right? So what are some of the things like that you noticed that people are not really aware of, but it really could be impacting them in their website performance and actually working for them?
Common things that we see is, there's the website audit that we perform kind of looks at over a whole slew of checklists of things on the website, and it's broken down to like 7 different areas. And so common ones that we often see are like page speed. It's one thing to have a beautiful looking website, as you mentioned, but if you just like throw up these great looking images that aren't really optimized for web, it can easily slow down your site. And Google doesn't like that, because people don't like that. People don't have the attention span to wait for your images to load, or and they want things fast and snappy. And so when people start to leave quickly because they run out of patience, Google recognizes that, and then of course that's how you end up getting penalized. So that's one common thing, is making sure that it runs quickly it meets the Google's benchmarks. Another area that we see is the copy. Like, is the message that you put out there resonating with your ideal client? Like, is it does this like speak their language? Is it clear of what you do for them and like how you help them? So like taking a look at that is often it's something that we do like every few months regardless. So it's not like we're just, I'm gonna say guilty. It's just like it's something that you always want to review and make sure that it's still talking to your audience. Yeah, so those are the top 2 for sure. Like the other ones we look at is like, of course, like how does it look on mobile? Like more than 50% of people Google searches are done on phones these days. So yeah, it has to look good on it. It can't be this like massive fonts that take up the whole page, but it can also be like super small squishy fonts that people can't read. So you really got to make sure that it there has a good user experience on regardless of the device that people are using to check out your website.
And one of the other things that I noticed, and I got a lot of people that come to me who ask me to like just check over their pages, especially landing pages, is where is the first call to action button. So I was looking at in terms of the placement of that, like how easy is it that someone can click on a call to action button and like take action on it. I was on a workshop earlier today, and we often will say like you've got 3 to 5 seconds to get someone's attention. It's going down even more. Today's statistic was 3.9 seconds. So when Andrew's talking about like if your ideal client, the person who's coming to your business, if they're not sticking around and they're leaving, like Google keeps track of that. And it's, I talk about Google, like the body keeps score. Google keeps score on your performance of your website. So depending on the scoring that you're getting is going to impact how your website is actually showing up in searches when people are out there searching for you. And so there's a lot, that's what I'm saying. There's so much that goes on the back end that if it's not set up properly, like your SEO and really looking at how you're building out your page, looking at your titles and your headings, like again, all back end things that you're probably not thinking about. And even when you go to look at your website, if you're working with a website developer and giving them feedback, these are not things that you're going to be thinking of. These are things that we think of because we're all about creating websites that increase their visibility, speak to your ideal client, and help them be like, yeah, this is somebody that I want to work with. And there's so many things that just can be completely missed and forgot about, again, because this is not your job. That's not what you're supposed to know. Like you're supposed to know this. That's what our job is. But that can be completely missed. That even when you're working with a website agency, that you're not connected with that. But there's also, we see this a lot of holes that get placed with even working with agencies that maybe something like this isn't ran and little things do get missed. And that's going to impact your performance and impact your rating and how your website is performing online. I think the other thing is how does it work with the SEO and again, other things of ranking, right? Because I think that's it. Don't we all want to be found by Google, right? Don't we all like someone's looking for a coach or a business and they're typing in the thing and you're showing up, you're popping up in the searches. Like that's what we all want, right? We want people to come to us. So what are some other things that you're noticing and even that the audit runs that will really help with that?
Common, like especially things you mentioned behind the scenes, things that people may not pay attention to would be how is a web page structured. It's one thing to have like big fonts and to help visually structure your page, but there's some like the back end coding that is just basic HTML that Google still pays attention to, that because it helps give them information of how is your page constructed, what is more important, like how is it like how is it put together, and what are you trying to cover in it. So if just running an audit like this is also just good to make sure that like, hey, what are like those like main headers and subheaders, and like is it structured that makes sense? Does it present the picture that you want to present to Google? Because Google they'll have their bots like are doing their thing and trying to understand what your information about, and they use the code on the back end that they use that information to understand what it's about. So you want to make sure those are that is clear and it makes sense and it's structured and in a good format.
When you're speaking, Andrew, I'm thinking even let's say English, for example, right? There's English in Canada, there's English in like England, and sometimes you speak the same language in terms of English, but yet there's terminology that might be different that might create confusion. So when you're talking about that, like the code, I'm thinking you've got to have the right HTML code that Google can actually understand. Again, it's a back-end thing, but these are little things that make a really big difference. You're not going to know this, but a report like this is going to be able to pull up and show you exactly where there's some tweaks that are going to be made. And here's the thing, you don't have to go make the tweaks. Part of our Cyber Monday special is that you can either one, get the report, or two, you can actually hire our team that's going to come and provide you 2 hours of tech service. So you don't have to worry about anything. You just get the Cyber Monday special. our team's gonna come in and they're actually gonna do all the tech stuff for you. So you don't have to worry anything about it. It is all taken care of, which I always like that, because when we can pass off our tech, right, it makes life that much more enjoyable and easy. But those tiny little things, it's handing it over to the experts, and it's no more time of your own, knowing that it's going to be taken care of on the back end for you. So for somebody who is kind of like on the fence, not really sure, I'm like, oh, is this an investment? Is this is right now the time that I need to get a web audit? What would you say to that person so they know, like, okay, yeah, right time, now is the right time for me to look at getting a web audit for my website?
Well, we're going into the new year. Whether it's been a great year or an okay year in 2024, for a nominal investment, like we've slashed the prices for this audit, and the idea is just to give you some information of like what's working, what's not working, and give you some ideas of like how you want to improve your online presence and your website going into the new year. So I would say now is a great time to consider it, and to reach out if you have any questions.
So if you find that you're not really getting the visibility, or you just feel like maybe your website's not working, this is a great opportunity. I mean, I know I'm always curious, right? Because again, one, we don't know what we don't know. And two, like all technology, things are always changing. And so it's so good to do some audit like this on the regular, right? To be able to just like look at the way things have changed. Google's always changing. I mean, technology is always changing. Now we've got AI out there. And so to really be like at the forefront of all the technology and the changes, a report like this on a regular basis is really good to show you where you can continue to create those tweaks. So you're always like, competitive in that landscape, the digital landscape of website and things like that. So of course, Andrew and I have an extensive background and knowledge when it comes to web design, technology, me more so on the front end of things, Andrew on the back end of things. So we're happy to answer any questions if you're curious to know if this is the right next step for you. Shoot us a message, drop a comment in the chat, and we'll also drop the link as well. And yeah, we are just here standing for you, increasing the visibility of you and your website and your business. And thanks for watching. And we'll be back again at another time. Happy Monday, everybody. Bye.